Hello everyone, my name is Jesse, and today I will be sharing with you my vinyl collection. Now, I'm going to preface this vinyl collection video. I've been collecting vinyl since December 25th of 2016, which is Christmas time when I got my record player, and these are all the records that I listen to most that I've acquired since then. I got some records from my grandma that I don't listen to that much, so I'm not going to be showing those off because that would make this video way too long, and I'd just be sharing records I don't listen to with you. Also, my grandpa loaned me some records, but they're not technically my records, so I'm not going to show off somebody else's vinyl collection in my vinyl collection video. So without further ado, let's get into this with some 7-inch singles. So, kicking off this vinyl collection, we have some Beatles 7-inches records that are like older. This is Instant Karma, We All Shine On by John Lennon, and on the B-side, it's Who Has Seen the Wind by Yoko Ono. And it's technically not a Beatles song, but it's still by Beatles, so it counts. And then we actually have a real Beatles 7-inch. It's All You Need Is Love. And then on the B-side is Baby, You're a Rich Man, and that's actually Beatles songs. And then we have George Harrison solo stuff. It's My Sweet Lord on the A-side, and then on the B-side, Isn't It a Pity? And then we have the most exciting one in this. It is by Green Day. It is Warning. And it's the single Warning, and then on the B-side it has Outsider and Scumbag, which are just really short tracks. But yes, it's pressed on this lime green vinyl that I think is really pretty. It's like neon green actually, and the sticker, I think that looks really cool as well. It doesn't sound the best when I spin it, but you know, it makes up for it in looks, and it was a great deal anyways, so I don't feel ripped off. I feel very happy knowing that I own this 7-inch record. So, starting this off with the 10-inch and above records, we have my least favorite Fall Out Boy record. It is Save Rock and Roll, and when I say least favorite, take that very lightly because Fall Out Boy is one of my favorite bands. Of course, I enjoy everything they made, and this isn't an exception. I just don't enjoy some of the tracks as much as I enjoy all the other tracks, but this is one of the only color pressings I have. It's pressed on clear red vinyl that I think looks really nice, and it's got the Fall Out Boy logo on the sticker, of course, and it sounds really nice. I was confused when I first got it because I didn't know that 10-inch records existed. And I was like, why is it so small? Did it shrink in the mail? Of course it didn't. It just meant to look like that. But yes, Save Rock and Roll by Fall Out Boy. Next up, I have a phenomenal record that was given to me by my grandma. It was part of her vinyl collection that she bestowed upon me. It is probably the best concept album of all time, The Wall by Pink Floyd. Now, if you haven't heard this album, just do yourself a favor and listen to it, because it's honestly such an amazing record. Like, the first time I listened to it, it was on this vinyl, and I just sat in my basement with it on the record player with 2 speakers on either side of my ear to get that mono audio, and it was so amazing. It's a gatefold on the inside, looks like this. This would be the whole screen. And yes, like, I get a lot of play out of this because it's honestly a great album. It tells a great story, and if you haven't listened to it, like I said, go and do that. Up next, we have a album by one of my favorite artists, and probably my favorite singer. He is the lead singer of Fall Out Boy, and I talk about him way too much in real life. It's Patrick Stump with Soul Punk, and this is a phenomenal record. If you haven't heard Soul Punk, I don't know why you're even here. just go listen to Soul Punk before you're watching any of my videos, because Soul Punk is honestly one of my favorite albums of all time, I've decided. Alley, Everybody Wants Somebody. And the bonus tracks on the deluxe edition are amazing. Like, I'm currently really vibing with People Never Done a Good Thing. It's not on this copy, but that doesn't matter. As long as I have these songs that are on it on vinyl, I'm happy. I think it looks really cool on the inside. There's like this picture of Patrick, and it's got that. And yes, if you haven't heard this, like I said, go listen to it. Some tracks to start you off that I recommend are Alley, Dance Miserable, Run Dry, and Everybody Wants Somebody. Next is a record by one of my favorite bands. It is 21st Century Breakdown by Green Day. Now, I got this before I got American Idiot, and I don't even have American Idiot yet, because I want a colored pressing of that when I get it, which kind of sounds like, oh, he only wants colored pressings. No, it's just an album that I really love, and I think I'm going to wait to get it on colored vinyl, like I'm going to wait to get Infinity on High by Fall Out Boy on vinyl. But yes, Green Day, 21st Century Breakdown. This album's a concept album that is, if not just as good as American Idiot. Like, every track on this album is honestly phenomenal. It's constructed so well, and they know how to do a concept album after this one. Like after American Idiot, of course. So they're like, let's make this one, and it's a love story. It has great tracks such as 21st Century Breakdown, and I love how the last track has a callback to 21st Century Breakdown at the beginning. Like, overall, I get so much playtime out of this record, and you definitely should check it out if you haven't. Up next, I have a couple records by the band that is behind me, right here, the Beatles, and those albums are one of my favorite albums of all time. It's turning 50 this year, which is crazy. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Now, this album, in my opinion, helped shape music to what it is today. Like the album cover, the music itself, the artwork, the concept. I just think overall this is a genius work of art. A Day in the Life is probably the best song that the Beatles ever made, and I get a lot of playtime out of this. My grandpa gave this to me for Christmas, and I love this record so much. Honestly, probably my second favorite album of all time. So if you haven't listened to this, listen to it, and I'm saying that for like every record because these are all records I really love. So just assume that you need to listen to it, and if you haven't, and that's not the last Beatles record I have. No. We have the White Album by the Beatles. Well, maybe it's this way. The White Album by the Beatles. Doesn't matter, you can't tell, but this is one of the first records I got. I got it for Christmas, and it's like really minimalistic packaging. It came with 4 glossy pictures of the band, and I don't know if I have them in here. I don't think. Oh, I do. Yes, it came with these 4 really high quality pictures of each member of the band. Like, these could be, I'm gonna get these framed because they're like really high quality, and this is an amazing album as well. I think the White Album and Sgt. Pepper are honestly the Beatles' best albums. Like, when they were just going experimental. This album is really long, and it's got all kinds of different songs, and so you're not going to be disappointed by listening to it, honestly. So if you haven't checked it out, like I've said, do it. Just do it. Now we have the first record I ever received. I got it from one of my best friends named Cole, and it is Revolution Radio by Green Day. This is an amazing album. It took me a while to come around to all of the tracks, but now I think I enjoy all of the songs the same. Forever Now is probably one of the best songs Green Day has ever made. Same with like Ordinary World. I'm not saying that's one of the best, but that's one of my favorites. It's just so simple and acoustic and beautiful. I just love that track, and this album is amazing. It's honestly a great way to start a record collection, so I'm very thankful that Cole gave this to me. And then we have another Green Day album that I picked up more recently. It is Dookie, because you need to have Dookie in your record collection if you're a Green Day fan. It's just facts. This is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I needed to pick it up on vinyl. So when I saw it, I was like, I'm getting that one. Yeah, that's my Green Day records. All of them. They're all gone now. I've gone over The Warning, 7-inch, 21st Century Breakdown, Dookie, Revolution Radio. That's all the Green Day records I have. So if you just came here for that, I hope you're satisfied now. Next up, I'm just going to show this one quickly. This is one of the first records I got as well, and they're all one of the first ones I got, technically. But this is Queen's Greatest Hits, and Queen, of course, is a phenomenal band. They're iconic, and every one of their tracks is gold. If I could have written one song that I didn't write, that like someone wrote in the past, it would be Good Old Fashioned Loverboy. And I'm really glad that my mom got this for me to start out my record collection. I actually have it in my record player right now as I'm recording this. That's how much time I play this record. It's just, Queen is an amazing band, and I think they're a big inspiration to anyone who's a musician, including myself. Alright, so we're nearing the end of my vinyl collection video, so I'm going to show you two more. These are the ones I play the most. Now, this one I got more recently, and I love the way the vinyl looks. It is the 1975 self-titled album. This album is honestly genius. Like, I got it around the end of 2015 or the beginning of 2016, and I got it on CD, and I listened to it. I didn't listen to their newest album because I was like, because I just really enjoyed this one. I didn't think that anything could top it, but it's pressed on this clear vinyl, and it's honestly so beautiful. Like, I bought it and I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that is gorgeous. It totally fits with the aesthetic, and honestly, it's a genius album. I love the 80s influences. I think that the 1975 is definitely one of my favorite bands, as I said in my top 10 favorite bands video, which I have now privated, so you won't be able to find that. But yeah, the 1975 by the 1975, featuring the opening track, the 1975, is an amazing album. And now, I show off the last record. It's the one I play the most. It was one of the first records I got for real. It was like the second record I got, I think. And it is by Fall Out Boy. And it is... Any guesses? I'm going to give a 5-second pause here. It's Fall Ya Duh by Fall Out Boy. And I played this so much. It's such an amazing album. Definitely one of the best that Fall Out Boy has put out. Definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. This is on a double LP, and both the records are pressed on a different color, which most people probably know. Like, you probably know how these look, but I'm just really happy with how they look. This one is like an orangey yellow clear vinyl, and it's honestly gorgeous, and like, it feels really nice on your face. And not that you would just put it on your face for recreational purposes. And then the other record, which is actually the first one, is pressed on clear red vinyl, which is also very gorgeous. Like, if you look through it, everything looks red. Ooh. Yes, so Fall Ya Duh, this is a genius album. Like, Fall Out Boy just went all out with this one, and I honestly think that it's one of Fall Out Boy's best, and it's a shame that this record got so much criticism and hate, because it's honestly amazing. Like, they had so much hate that people were like telling them to not play songs from this album at shows, and it just makes me sad, because this album is honestly amazing. Just 10 out of 10. It's not even my favorite Fall Out Boy album. Like, if I had Infinity on high on vinyl, I'd be praising it even more. But the songwriting, the instrumentals, like songs like $20 Nosebleed and What a Catch Donnie are what make me love this album, because they're so big, and I love songs that sound really big and not overproduced, but they just sound so big and intense and just like it hits you like a wave, and I really think that's what they're going for. So yes, Folie à Deux by Fall Out Boy. So that is the end of my vinyl collection video. I will be posting vinyl updates when I get a significant amount of records, and I'll be like, yo, these are the records I have now. But until then, my name is Jesse, and I will see you next time. Bye.